All right, guys, what's going on? Derek James, GovKidMethod.com. And today we are doing bid, no bid training, also known as capture management in the business. And if you find yourself, going to SAM.gov, you're looking at opportunities and you're trying to qualify them, determine whether they're good or not, whether they're going to be a good match for your business, and if you should invest your time in going after them. I know this kind of initial stage is something where a lot of contractors struggle. So today we're going to be actually covering 7 questions that you should be asking of every bid that you're looking at. So question number 1 when you're looking at a bid, you should be asking yourself is, what is the due date, right? I've felt the pain of it. I know many others have as well, where they, start working on something only to find out that it's already expired, which is really bad. Or more importantly, that the due date is maybe only a few days away and that they're not going to have enough time to actually put the response together that they need to in order to be compliant with the solicitation, evaluation factors and instruction to offerers. To find the solicitation due date, all you have to do is go to the main SAM.gov solicitation page. You don't even have to open up any documents. It's going to be right there in the key description information of the opportunity. And if you make this a priority, it's going to save you a lot of time and heartache in the future, I promise you. So question number 2 for this bid, no bid training is, what is the set aside? So set aside gives preference to small businesses that have a particular set aside, like a woman-owned small business or a hub zone or service disabled, etc. There's a number of set asides that can be applied here. And what this should mean to you is that if there is a set aside there that you do not have, then you cannot bid on this. So imagine responding to something or getting halfway, again, done with putting together your proposal response, only to realize this is set aside for a certain small business type that you are not. Therefore, you cannot bid on this. That's something that you want to know right away, right out of the gate. So this piece of information, right along with the due date, are pieces of information that you should get honestly within the first 10 seconds of even continuing to look any further at the bid opportunity. Question number 3 is period of performance. So this is not necessarily as obvious to find. You may find it on the SAM.gov listing page, but you may have to dive into the solicitation document or the statement of work. The period of performance means when the work is supposed to start and commence and for how long it's going to go for. This is an important piece of information to know as a contractor, because if you are not going to be ready to start when this work needs to start, then maybe it's not something that you should pursue or go after. And likewise, if it's going to be too short of a project or too long of a project that's going to be outside of the realms of what you're able to do, this could also be a very good reason to pass, put this in the bad pile, and start focusing on other ones that might be a better fit. Similarly to question number 3, question number 4, we have the place of performance. So just like the period of performance is very important, the place of performance is very important in a whole other way. So depending on what type of niche and industry your small business is in, this can be a very big deal. For example, if you're in professional services or staffing, it may be very normal and common for you to provide services all over the country. But if you're in something like grounds maintenance or construction or landscaping, you may be very targeted on certain geographic locations for where your crew and your services are able to reach and that you're able to effectively manage. You may not want to be going after something that's all the way across the country. So if you can find this out right away, you can again focus on those opportunities that are going to be a better fit geographically speaking, perhaps in terms of the place of performance of the bid. Okay, number 5 is, what is needed in the actual bid proposal response. There's always RFQs and RFPs, and I always say everyone is different. Before you start writing and working on a proposal response, you really have to learn to read. Before you run, you have to learn to walk, and before you even learn to walk, you have to learn how to stand and balance yourself. So finding what's needed in a proposal response, whether again it's an RFP or RFQ, doesn't matter for this point. Sometimes it's price only, other times it's price and past performance. Sometimes they also want a technical approach. There's a lot of factors that go into play determining what is required. What you need to know though is just that, what is required. You don't need to know the why. All you need to know as a bidder and a vendor who wants to potentially go after this is, what is required of you to put this information together. For example, if you're finding that this requires past performance, this is the big one that everybody talks about, and you don't have strong past performance, then you may want to pass on this, discard it, put it in the bad pile, and more so focus on looking at opportunities maybe that are price only or just require, a price and resumes or, a bit of a technical approach, something that you can demonstrate that your business can do and put your quote with it, that you don't have the experience just yet. You're typically not going to find this information of what's required in a response just in the listing description page. You are going to have to dive into what's called Section L, or the instruction to offerers, inside the actual solicitation document to find this. They may even break it down into volumes, volume 1, 2, and 3, and then other things that you have to fill out as well. All that's going to be required in answering this question. And it's super important that you answer this question sooner than later so you can determine if you want to spend any more time on it. Okay, question number 6 is so important. How will the winning bidder be determined? You have no business, okay, no business whatsoever putting together a proposal response to a bid if you don't even know what a winning response is going to look like. So this is called evaluation factors, also known as Section M in a solicitation, and the government will always tell you what is going to be required and evaluated. They may have a bit of a weighting system, certain sections of the proposal, the response, get more weight than others. Other, weightings are going to be equal to each other. They break it down for you in that section. And 2 common terms that you hear me use a lot and that the government commonly uses is best value and lowest price technically acceptable. More often than not, in your solicitation bids that you're looking at, you're going to see one of these, best value or LPTA. And again, this is going to tell you how the government is going to look at this. Is it going to be kind of a pass-fail and the lowest price wins? Or is it the government saying, hey, you know what, we're willing to pay a little bit more, so it's not going to be the lowest price for a company that's more of a sound and credible company. Maybe they have very strong past performance, and that came through in the instruction to offerers in the previous section. They're going to be looking for this, and they're okay paying a bit more. Okay, these are 2 totally different types of strategies, and if you don't know what these are, you really have no understanding of how the winning bidder is going to be chosen, and you really have no business in even responding to it just yet. Okay, so question number 7 is, what are the government forms, the things outside of the actual proposal response that you need to gather, fill out, complete, and submit with your response? This can be a bit of a confidence booster for you if this is new to you. So some of the things to look out for are signing a standard form 1449 or 1442, also looking at completing your reps and certs, acknowledging amendments, past performance questionnaires, PPQs, and anything else the government may slip in terms of a form that they're telling you that you need to fill out. If you can take an accounting of all these forms and all these different things that you need to fill out as part of your response, you're going to feel a lot more positive and motivated to move forward with this opportunity if you're able to identify those at this early bid, no bid stage. So guys, I get a lot of people asking me, Derek, I'm registered in SAM. Am I ready to bid yet? I don't know. You tell me. Do you know these 7 questions? Are you asking yourself these 7 questions? Have you been practicing finding the answers to these 7 bid, no bid questions in the solicitations that you're looking at? If you can, find these, honestly, you should be able to find these in 10, 15 minutes. That's kind of my expectation for you as a coach, the level that I want you to get to. And, we teach a lot of this in the GovCon Gold Rush. We've got a whole module called Speed Reader where we get into the real nitty gritty of how to find this stuff and, tips and tricks if you want to check that out. But today, just knowing these 7 questions really should make your life a heck of a lot easier. And I want you to use these 7 questions as a conveyor belt assembly line. Hit every single bid that you're looking at with these 7 questions so that you don't waste your time on something only to find out something later that this was not favorable for you to begin with. Do you know where to find these 7 key pieces of information? Can you find them quickly? If you answered yes to all 7, then I would say, you know what, it's the 4th quarter. You should go out and kill it because you have really everything that you need to really make a good first step and a good go at this. If you're like, you know what, Derek, I can find the due date and the set aside and, the government forms, but everything else I'm not really good at, that's okay. At least you're acknowledging that of yourself. I want you to practice doing at least 10 or 20 of these and then reevaluate, so go to 10 or 20 solicitation opportunities that you think may be good on SAM.gov and hit them with these 7 questions and practice going through and finding these 7 answers. Get an Excel sheet going, something like that. Do 1 per day. Let this be your practice for the next couple weeks moving forward. I guarantee you it's going to build your confidence and your faith in actually getting to the process of bidding and submitting bids to the government. So today's training is just another video in our training series of focusing on bid proposal training from different angles. I'm trying to, hit you guys in different ways in terms of, writing proposals and pricing and bid proposal training. If you look at the videos I've recently done, everything is focused on bidding, and I'm trying to help you in many different ways as possible. So if you liked today's video, smash that like button. And if you're watching this training and you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing, because government contracting is all that we do. And so many of my video watchers are not actual subscribers yet. We would love to have you part of the community. Now, before you bounce, consider watching this video or this video if you want additional training. And until next time, guys, keep grinding. It's the fourth quarter. Keep at it. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.